Hi, I'm Rob Fairlie. I'm a professor in the economics department. I'm doing research on the impact of COVID-19, the special mandates that were put in place for social distancing restrictions, and also kind of demand shifts that resulted from customers and owners and workers being nervous about impacts on minority unemployment. So the idea is, did African Americans and Latinx get hit harder or less hard by the recession that's being created by COVID-19? Biggest concerns that we have is it's going to result in a really high level of unemployment. But even more important is that it could actually increase inequality. If unemployment spells last, even for a month, 2, 3 months, they can have kind of devastating effects on savings, on wealth accumulation. I'm working with a co-author of mine who I've worked on in a few different papers on unemployment rates among different minority groups, and also a former graduate student of mine who's now a professor at Indiana University. So the three of us are doing a research project, and what we were able to get is access to the latest current population survey data that comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And we were able to compile those data and generate numbers on unemployment. As far as we know, we're the first ones to be able to get access to these data, to compile them and to generate the numbers. We are just starting to kind of reach out to reporters, the press, different groups to, to talk about the results. And we hope that they have, some kind of impact. We hope that they start to get some policy impacts that are kind of more addressed at the exact problems. What we find is kind of devastating effects on African American and Latinx unemployment rates. We find that unemployment rates hit over 30% for both groups. It's the highest ever recorded for either group. Even the national levels are the highest since we've seen in the Great Depression even, so much higher than the Great Recession. What we do is we actually look at very carefully the industry distributions, occupations, education skill levels of different workers. And what we found is kind of surprising is for African Americans, they actually have a slightly favorable industry distribution that kind of limited some of the impacts that we would have predicted that they would have been hit with COVID-19. For Latinx, it's a different story. Their occupation distribution, industry distribution, and skill levels in general really hurt them and contributed to why they experienced the losses that were so high. Another kind of interesting finding from all of it is the Latinx unemployment rate actually reached a level higher than the African American rate. So we are very concerned about these results, and we are actually doing more research to try to figure out kind of the ongoing patterns here. It'll be really interesting to see in the next few months what happens if unemployment rates kind of rebound and start to become lower as we kind of ease out of these social distancing restrictions, or if a lot of these kind of small businesses and medium-sized businesses go under from this kind of beginning of a recession, and so then these job losses are even larger. We now have kind of an ongoing effort to keep collecting the data, keep compiling the data, and keep analyzing and disseminating these unemployment rates.